Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. It's Hack. So, from the title, pros and cons being on a bulk. Now, obviously, Merry Christmas as well to everyone. Obviously, if you've had a good Christmas. If you're not into Christmas, then I hope you had a good day. Hope everyone's having or looking forward to the new year. I'm not, because it's basically 2020 part 2, but you know. So as the title says, pros and cons of being on a bulk. Pros and con being on a bulk. So, stating the obvious, number one, the first pro of being on a bulk, obviously size. You're gonna get bigger quicker. Obviously, you're eating a lot more food, you're in a calorie surplus. So, obviously, you're gonna put on a lot more weight, a lot more fat. As well as muscle.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Wow!
Quicker than you would if you was just eating and lifting, not really in a surplus, or if you was in a surplus, not as much in a surplus. So let's say, for example, your surplus, meaning what your body's supposed to stay in to gain weight, right? Let's say you needed 3,500 calories. If you eat 3,550 calories, your weight will go up very slowly because you're only having 50 calories extra, which isn't really a lot, right? As opposed to if you're in a higher surplus, let's say you need 3,500 calories, but you're eating 3,700, your weight would go up a lot quicker. So that's number one, obviously the size, right? Pro number two, strength. Your strength will go up a shitload.
Look at this graph! Look at it!
Which is good because obviously that's what you want. Obviously more strength equals more size. I don't care what anyone says. More strength equals more size. Simply because you're going to be lifting more, tearing down the tissue more, right? So you're going to be gaining a shitload. Ridiculous. Nice.
My nigga.
It's all good. Obviously being in a surplus, you're making gains, obviously strength's going up, your size is rocketing up, and everything's looking good. But there's one con that no one ever talks about being on a bulk, right? The main one is the fat that you gain, right? Is it necessary to be on a bulk first and foremost before I get into it, right? Do you need to go on a bulk? No, you don't. I mean, if you want to gain size and strength quickly, obviously a lot more strength. If you want to get bigger, and you're looking forward to leaning down, then it's fair enough, but you don't necessarily need it. Are you stepping on stage? Are you stepping on stage? If you're not stepping on stage, you don't really need to do that, right? Obviously, if you are stepping on stage, then by all means, do what you want to do. Obviously, that's your, in a sense, could be career, you know, could be something that you're really into. But as for like the average Joe, someone like me that's just going to the gym to lift, you don't need to, but if you want to, carry on. But back to the number one con, stubborn fat. Now, it's all fun and games when you're lifting. Sorry about the darkness, by the way. It's all fun and games when you're lifting heavy weights and your strength's going up and everything's going great, but then when you come to losing all that weight, right, and you have fat in areas that's too stubborn to lose, there's nothing you really can do. Like, for example, I'll use myself as an example. I've been on 2 or 3 bulks in the 10 years that I've lifting, that I've been in the gym, and every single time that I've been on a bulk and cut back down, it's harder for me to lose fat in certain areas. Like the areas for me is my face, just my whole head area. It's all of it, right? So that's one thing a lot of people don't talk about. You go on a bulk and you gain a lot of fat, and then when you come to stripping that fat off, it's harder to lose that fat in certain areas. Now, you might find it harder to lose the fat on your abs, on your legs, your lower back in general, your chest, anywhere, right? So that's the number one con that you don't really think about when you're obviously bulking up. It's harder to lose fat in certain areas. Very, very hard. I mean, you can try as much as you want, and it's okay looking good above the skin, but you have to think about what's going on underneath. The more fat that you gain, right, you have to think you're building up more and more and more fatty cells, right? Now, obviously, the more you keep building up that over time, it's harder for you to lose it. So yeah, just one thing to consider, obviously, when you're going on a bulk. It's best if you are going to go on a bulk, it's best to go on a lean bulk, which means, like I said earlier, if you have a calorie surplus of 3,500 calories, it's best to just increase your calories ever so slightly, so you'll gain weight very slowly, and it'll be easier for you to control your fat gain, as opposed to I'm on 3,500 calories, I'm gonna start eating friggin' 7,000, 6,000. Honestly, people do this, it's ridiculous. You don't have to have so much more calories. As long as you're having just above your means, you will put on weight. Calm down. Right, so that's it for me. That's the video. Hope you've all had a good year. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Just wanted to obviously share that information with you. If you are looking to go on a bulk, stay safe, don't get the Rona, and you'll see me in the next video. Peace. Go on a bulk. Fuck that shit. Nah, never again. Nope.